Even though this is not based on you, but yeah, in the story, obviously you've said that, but then one's going to go behind the other's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Wax on, wax off.
Cigarettes.
Excellent.
Hello.
Hello and welcome, Midlifers. We're your hosts, Fons.
And Mez.
And this is your weekly podcast where it's not self-help, but more help yourself to a smorgasbord of nostalgia, laughter, and a deep dive into the past.
Welcome, Midlifers, to this week's show, a very special episode with a wonderful guest, Australian award-winning author, Rachael Johns. We get to pick her brain about all things writing books, about a new book that's just come out, The Lucky Sisters, and we actually have a bit of a deep dive together into books that we all grew up with, the Babysitters Club books. So we have a great conversation with her. Turns out she's just like us, very cool, one of the Midlifers, and we can't wait to share this special episode with you. So let's dive in.
So November has actually been huge. We have had Oasis tour the country. We've had Metallica. We've had AC/DC. And we've also had esteemed Australian author Rachael Johns. Welcome aboard, Rachael.
Oh, thank you for having me. That was the brilliant introduction. It was lovely to meet you on my big, massive, not Oasis style tour.
Well, you've got a lot of fans, I have to say, and us being two of them, and to have the honour of attending your book tour as well, it was insightful and brilliant in all senses.
Oh, thank you. But that was almost my very last event after 2.5 weeks. So if I was making sense, that's amazing.
Oh, you made it. And the way I describe you is as a firecracker. Like, you have got such riz.
Oh, that is the biggest honour. My teenagers would probably disagree completely. So
I get it. Your teenagers would probably be cringing at how I'm using that word.
Probably. But hey, we don't care, right?
No, the kids are never going to think parents are cool. It's just how it is.
Exactly.
So from your book tour, they say your vibe attracts your tribe. How would you describe your classic Rachael Johns reader?
Oh, I've never heard your vibe affects your tribe or attracts your tribe. I'm going to write that down in a minute because it's so cool. I love it. Look, the class. I'm actually visualizing a few of my readers who have been with me for as long as I can remember, and we do. And I've got an online book club with a friend at the Hodson, and so we meet a lot of those classic readers every year when we have our retreat. And I reckon they are bubbly, prepared to give anything a go, super friendly, and inclusive. I'd say that they are just all round good people. I love, the readers, because of meet readers who I've met. We now have a saying with our book club, book people are the best people. And I genuinely agree. Yeah.
That's cool.
And one thing I have to say, it was very colourful. The crowd were dressed in beautiful rainbow colours. And because I've noticed you wear a lot of pink. You love pink.
I don't look at my T-shirt because it's not ironed or anything because I don't bother with that. But I do
Keep
love
iron.
pink. And it's so funny because I've I guess I've leaned into it. My newsletter is called Pink Ink. And, I wear a lot of pink. So the readers have picked up on that over the years. And so sometimes I will go to an event and I'm not wearing pink. And they'll be like, why aren't you wearing pink? Because they come along. Readers will wear pink to my events and they'll say to me, oh, I'm wearing pink for you. And I was like, oh, that's so nice.
It's such a good colour though, because pink's the colour of love, vivaciousness, and that's what you bring forth.
Oh, thank you. Maybe because I have 3 boys, so you need, you need pink in your life.
You need a bit of extra colour.
Yeah.
Now, I have finished reading your book and I was going to curse you, Rachael Johns, because you made me go to bed late every night, especially sort of like in the middle, because some of the chapters are like 3 or 4 pages long. So it's kind of like, oh, just one more chapter. Just one more chapter.
One more chapter.
Like,
I love short chaptered books, but unfortunately I don't manage to write them very
No, it's great because, I'll just read one more chapter. And then before you know it's 12:30, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to bed. But I plowed through it in a few days and I absolutely loved it. And there are a few sections I was crying and my son was on the couch just playing Xbox. He's looking at me, why are you crying? I'm like, it's a book. What's wrong? But like beautiful tears. It had all the emotions. I've just got a general question, not just about this book, The Lucky Sisters, but in writing in general. Do you sort of write a whole sort of storyline or have a storyline in mind from beginning to end and then you fill in the blanks? Or do you just have a starting point and then see where the characters and the storyline takes you?
Look, you would think that would be the easy way to do it, right? To plan ahead. But I'm not really a planner in life or in, I kind of fell into this career and I never planned to be a writer and I don't plan my books either. But saying that each one kind of, a little bit more, it depends on what the first sort of spark of inspiration is, I suppose, how much of that spark actually dictates the plot and how much you have to kind of, look for.
Yeah.
And so it varies from book to book. With this book, The Lucky Sisters, I kind of did know some of the key things that were going to happen just because of what it's about, which is hard to talk about without spoilers. But so I did know a few things along the way. And so I was kind of, I guess, just going towards, like writing towards each of those. And then when I got there, then work out, okay, now we have to write towards the next point. What happens next? But, I love writing. It's stressful writing this way in many ways because I'm always scared. I'm going to write 80,000 words and not know how to end the story or something like that. Although so many crime writers do it this way. And so I think if they can get away with like not knowing who the killer is, then surely in sort of general fiction, I know, I can see your face. Surely in general fiction, I can do it. So that's what I do. I kind of just micro plot as I go. So I like think a few scenes ahead. And as I said, I like that because it's terrifying, but it's also, I sort of discover the book and, it's a bit more interesting. I feel like I hear a lot of people say if they plan ahead, they feel like they would get really bored. I mean, lots of people do and they don't. But I do like that element of surprise. And I also believe, I probably said when you saw me being interviewed that I've got this tattoo, Trust the Magic, on me. And that is there to remind me when I'm sitting here at my desk and I am freaking out and I don't know what's going to happen next and I don't think I can do this, that I just turn my wrist over and I say, trust the magic, because I believe there is an element of magic in writing and that if your subconscious knows so much more than you do. And we are all writers, should be, readers. We've all been reading a long time. Sadly, I didn't read enough in high school because I was more obsessed with a boy, but I had that gap, but then I fell back into reading. And so if you're a reader, and you've been reading forever and watching TV and film, story structure innately. And so you just got to trust that somewhere, if you create characters, like I've got a quote on my wall that says something like, I've got a whole load of Post-it notes of different things that I've heard, and I'm putting the tribe thing on there soon. But it says something like, if you take care of the characters, they will take care of the story. And I genuinely believe that.
Yeah. In saying that then, are you ever surprised when it comes to the end, when you finish the book, and like you sort of look back to what you sort of had in mind at the start, like how different perhaps it is, or where the journey's taken the characters?
Yeah, I would have said my first initial answer would have been no, because I kind of like, I guess it's not a hugely long process. I'm not like a slow writer. I do produce reasonable amount of books, so I guess I'm kind of there, but I have been with them for a few months and I've kind of forgotten probably so that was my initial answer. But no, I think you're right. I think I do look back and I'm surprised by certain things, and I think that's that element of magic that I couldn't have predicted when I first had the idea. And so say for in this book, The Lucky Sisters, there's a couple of chapters where I leaned into, I guess, what we call magic realism in a bookish world. It's maybe you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. Or as I say, some people have to suspend their disbelief more than others for the couple of chapters that I'm talking about. And other people will be like full on lean in. Yep, I love this. I totally think it could happen. Right. And that stuff I did not plan at all. It was kind of as I was writing and as I was, getting to know the characters. And it's almost like, as I said, it is magic. I can't even explain sometimes. You just love it when it happens, right? Because it doesn't always happen. Most of the time I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I don't know what to write next. This is terrible, But then you'll just have this strike of inspiration. And I think those little strikes of inspiration are enough to kind of keep you going and to keep the faith. And so I would never have expected when I started writing, if I was telling you what this book was going to be about, and if I did outline it, I would not have had those scenes in there that are a little bit magic realism. Some people don't like them. This book is very well reviewed actually so far on Goodreads and stuff. It's probably my best reviewed so far, so that's few.
Yeah.
But the few that have given me, a 1 or 2 star, it's like it's too mystical for them. So that's fair,
Yeah.
Not everyone loves everything. Yeah.
That's right. Is that
And I wrote what I had to write, if that makes sense. Like, yeah.
But I remember on your book tour, I think you said the Lucky Sisters could have been described as a bit woo-woo. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Because you've said, I remember you saying about twin intuition. Scientifically, it hasn't been proven, but it has happened.
Yeah.
And I can say with Mez and I, we've got a bit of ESP because
So you've known each other a long time, haven't you? You said
since grade 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Too long, some might say. No.
I was going to say that's not really that long.
But you know, I
Just 10
remember.
years ago.
Yeah. In grade 5, like whenever I'd say I'm going to call Mez, she would call me up.
Like, I just love that. I think that is amazing, and it just makes me want to write a book about 2 friends. Maybe 2 friends who do a podcast and something happens. Okay, we're getting the whole plot here. Okay, but saying that, and this sounds weird as well, but I always have a gut feeling if I'm going to win something or not win something. Like, you too?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm usually right. Like, whether it's a lucky thing or whether it's a merit thing, yeah, I've usually got this kind of gut feeling. Sometimes I tell myself, don't be ridiculous. You won't win that against those people or whatever. But, yeah, I always know if I'm going to win or not going to win something. Yeah.
I have to add a bit of Greek woo-woo to this.
Yeah.
And saying something like that, we always have to say skorda, tusu, and do a spit to make sure it stays that way.
What do you say?
So we say skorda, which means garlic, because garlic wards off the evil eye. And then I don't know what the spitting's about. It's in my Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I've been spat on since I was a baby. But it's to get the evil eye off you. So when you say something like in regards to luck or being lucky, you say skorda, tusu, and it gets the eye off you, and it keeps things as it is.
Cool.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I am a very woo-woo person.
Yeah. I think the older I get, the more woo-woo I become, actually. Like, and maybe that's just because, like, I grew up in a very non-woo-woo environment. My family, the school that I went to, so you just kind of, I think I may have said on my book tour, and that one of the things that I love about, I don't know if I said it that night when he came, one of the things I love about writing, and I suppose reading, but I think I think about it more writing, I guess, because I spend so much time with certain topics and stuff, is that it challenges my feelings and my thoughts and values about things, and often I think we just believe what we were told to believe when we were young, and then at some point in our life, sometimes earlier, sometimes later, and different for all different things, you start challenging, well, why do I believe that? And do I still believe that?
Yes.
And I think, so I do believe there's, the woo-woo-ness. I think there's more stuff going on than we can explain and then science can explain. And I like that.
Yeah, I love it too.
So I think, this, is it having more, sitting in the space of the grey area. It's okay to
I love
feel
that.
the grey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to feel the great. You've got all the quotes today.
I know.
Look at you go. You're making me be all poetic.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
okay
it
to
should
feel
be
the
fun.
great. Writing that down too.
Can I have another quote?
Yes.
Another quote that you said, Rachel, on your tour was by Louise Gluck. And it was, one sister is the watcher, the other is the dancer. So in your own life, do you think you're a watcher or a dancer or a little bit of both?
That's such an interesting question because, I'm not, like, I don't have any, well, I have 4 half-brothers and sisters, 5 half-brothers and sisters, 4 half-sisters, but I don't have any sisters of my own. And that quote is specifically about sisters, as you said. And I think it only kind of works for 2 sisters as well because, otherwise it's sort of diluted and you might be, and I think for me, that I'm probably a bit of both because I had to be both. you know, because I didn't have a sister who could be the dancer while I was the watcher or vice versa. I'm wondering though, as close friends who are probably, you know, feel like sisters in a way, do you have a watcher and a dancer?
One quote that's simple.
Do you agree with this? You might have different thoughts on this.
No, like, because we often say we refer to the movie Thelma and Louise.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
At certain points in the movie, Thelma takes charge and is the strong one. And at certain points in the movie, Louise takes charge. And that's what we're like. So generally, when one of us is down, the other one picks the other up.
That's so
we
good.
definitely, we do, we tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Watcher and dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm seriously plotting a book about you two, right? So
Well,
now I'm going to ask you a question.
I've got a title for you. I've got a
Oh,
theme.
good. What is it?
Soul Sisters. It's
Soul
about
Sisters?
Yeah,
Love it.
Sisters of the Soul. Because I
So
think
love it. Love it.
Soul Sisters
What would
of
break you up though? Because you need
what
to,
would break
you know,
us up.
Yeah.
It would
What
be
would be
guys
the secret?
because we have got completely different tastes in men. Every celebrity
so
I
it
say is
wouldn't be
hot.
men.
Bonds is like,
Not.
Because you know, you need a conflict. You need a conflict in a story. So I need something that's going to like put pressure on you guys.
okay. All right, I've got one.
got
I've
it?
got one.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
you know, obviously, like, say we're doing this podcast together. If one of us was like, got a stardom opportunity separately, you know, I'm not saying
Break us up.
I think it would. Nothing's ever going to
it
break
might not
us up.
break you up, but it would. It might not break you up, but it would put pressure. I understand that. And I think that's similar in writing friendships and stuff, actually, because, you know, I've got really close writing friends who, you know, we started writing before either of us got published kind of thing. And, you know, it's like, oh, nothing's going to, you know, stop those friendships or whatever. You're really, really close. But when one person has more success or something, and the other doesn't, it is hard. Like, and I've got both. I've got people who are way more successful than me, and then I've got friends who, you know, probably look at me and go, "Oh, it's not fair." Like, and you know, we've worked as hard, we've done the same, you know, and so I think those sort of things actually probably do put pressure on a relationship. It might not be enough to break you up ever, but it can change things, can't it? Because like obviously if one person has something and the other doesn't, you're going to then start also being in different social circles and different opportunities, and that's going to put the pressure on. Anyway, sorry, I'm a downer here.
It's from this.
Never going to happen. Fine. It's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen. We're saying to everyone, if you come up with a big deal, you have to take you both of you.
Yes. That's what we've said.
Yep. We're a
Package.
we are a package.
See, even though this is not based on you, but yeah, in the story, obviously you've said that, but then one's going to go behind the other's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. And I'll be crying in the corner.
But then you'll get revenge.
Ooh.
all right.
See, the story
This
writes
is good.
itself. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop taking over your podcast.
Can I ask you, when you were writing The Lucky Sisters, you said you deleted social media for a short while. I read that somewhere. How did you cope with not having social media? Was it a good thing?
Oh, it's so good. In fact, I've done it again now. Like I haven't completely, you know, deleted my accounts or anything like that, but I delete it off my phone. So I don't have Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Not that I'm really much on TikTok, but, you know, so I don't have any of those on my phone now, which means that I have to, it's not the first thing I look at when I wake up in the morning, you know, which is often something we all get into. And I don't even think like I deleted it as soon as I came back from book tour last week again, because I just want to focus now on getting my work done. And I've got 2 books that are due early next year. So I really need to get rid of as many distractions as I possibly can. And it feels really good. It's weird at first because you'll be like waiting for an appointment somewhere, or you'll be at the queue at the checkout and, you know, you're like, what do I do? Because, you know, we're all so used to just, you know, scrolling Instagram in those times. But then, you know, I look around, I watch, or I might, if I've got a longer period, I'll read a book instead, you know, and it just actually feels so good. And one of the things is, I think I was talking to my husband about this the other day, like, social media isn't really social anymore. Like I scroll through, I was looking at this when I was on tour, I'd, you know, scroll and I'd see out of 10 things, maybe 1, maybe 2 people that I actually knew and wanted to see. Most of it is adverts making me broke because I like buy T-shirts and earrings and bags and stuff, or influencers, which, you know, they're funny kind of thing, but it's like, do I really need to watch this couple I don't know that lives in Florida, you know, like doing funny shit? Maybe I should actually talk to the people in my life instead. So it's really good. It's hard though as an author, and I suppose as anyone who's doing anything like you guys do as well, podcasting, you know, art, songs or whatever, because I feel like it's been instilled in us for so long that you need to be on these platforms to access your people and to people to know about you. But, you know, I just think that in the end, with books and probably anything else, like, I don't think the amount of people that are actually there, like, to buy your books is, you know, and those people are probably going to buy them anyway because they're your diehard kind of followers and they love you and they'll read your book anyway. But the amount of time you put into thinking about, I should be doing this or shooting that could be put into doing actually more interesting things in your life. A, the work that you're supposed to be doing, in my example, like writing, or B, just, you know, having fun doing other things. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. And, you know, I wish I could take even more of a step back, but there is that fear as a writer. Oh, well, will everyone forget I exist if I don't post on social media?
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Which is ridiculous because
when you've got your own business, because you want exactly what you said, and that's how I've been feeling. I feel like for my mental health and everything, it feels good to have that break. But then you still want to keep growing. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah,
as creative.
Really hard. That's why I suggest that's why taking it off a phone for me is that step, in that I'm not like, I'm using it rather than it's using me. And
yes,
I
Rachel,
think that is what a friend said to me, something similar, probably not. And you know, so now I can go on my computer and I can check Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, deleting off your phone is a great idea, I reckon.
I like it.
You have the control.
Yeah.
I've just got a quick question in regards to writing. Like, as you said before, like, you know, obviously a lot of people that read will sometimes think, oh, you know, should I write a book or could I write a book? The thing that's always turned me off, or I've been scared about, is thinking, okay, I have to sit down, I have to write. Do you write sort of when the inspiration hits you, or do you have a sort of dedicated time to think, okay, today from these hours I'm going to write? And it sort of becomes a habit.
Oh, you mean like it's the time that everyone's like, oh, I'd like to write a book. I might have an idea, but I don't have time in my life to write a book. And I think that can be very daunting. Obviously now it's my job, so I treat it like a job in that, which is not always great because, you know, I don't always feel like I'm getting up and going to work, but nobody does necessarily always feel like get up and going to work, you know. We'd rather stay in bed and snuggle with the dog or read a book. But so I now, you know, have time where I'm saying, okay, Rachel, stop faffing around. You must do some work, and that's usually generally between like about, well, I get up around, you know, I get into my office about 7:30 in the morning, and then I sort of faff around for about an hour. And then I'm like, okay, now is time to work. And I sort of try and write solidly for a few hours. And, you know, sometimes that flows and other times it's like, you know, pulling teeth, or is that the phrase I mean? Whatever, drawing blood from a stone, whatever, all those things. It's like that. But saying that, in terms of people wanting to write a book that, you know, are not doing this for a job yet, or maybe not ever, because it's sadly, unfortunately, the majority of Australian authors can't do this full time. Finding time to write a book, you don't need huge amounts of time. I think that's what, you know, people always think, oh, I don't have the time. But even half an hour a day, or, you know, 100 words a day, if you write 100 words a day, you've got, you know, quite a lot of words by the end of the year. Now, not a book probably, I'm just trying to do the maths, but if you write 500 words a day, you've got more than a book. It adds up.
It adds up.
And I think the thing is, what people always think about with writing is it's the time spent, you know, actually writing in a notebook or putting words on a keyboard, if you're me, that's the time you need. But with writing, a lot of it is your thinking time. And if you're thinking about your book, or, you know, when you're making kids lunches or walking the dog or whatever, hang washing at your day job when you should be listening to a meeting, you know, but everyone's talking about stuff that they could have put in an email, right? And you just like zone off a little bit. You're always thinking about your characters, what happens next. Then when you've got that hour, you can make the most of that hour. I actually found that I probably was more productive when I had less time. You know, when our kids were really little, we had a small business as well, and I was writing around the cracks of all those other things, because when I did get the time to sit down at the computer, I wasn't faffing about, and I was okay. This. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the most of this time, and I could like write at, in the car when I was doing tennis for pickups or soccer or whatever. Whereas now I'm a lot more precious, and I don't like it. I'm like, oh no, I need to be here, and I need to be in the zone. And so you can find. You have to make the time. You won't find it, but you don't need a lot of time. I think that's what I would say. People think you need a lot of time. You don't.
I like that. That's good. And even just by breaking it down,
I should remind myself that too.
No, just remind me of Mez then when you said, doing soccer training and stuff, because I know Mez edits our podcast in the car during dancing and soccer training.
You've got to do it, right? You've got to find those. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Scroll your phone in that time?
Well, that's right. Exactly. Now, are we going to go straight into our Do You Remember segment? And do you remember the Babysitters Club?
Oh, I was so excited when I met you and saw your earrings. I was like, oh my goodness, are they Babysitters Club earrings? Even before I knew who you were. And then you said you were, I was even more excited. But yes, do I remember the Babysitters Club? The Babysitters Club I was trying to remember because I thought, I didn't read any books in high school really, because I was obsessed with a boy and that was a full-time job. And the books are boring. But I read every single Babysitters Club book that was published before then. And it must have been like year 4 or 5, 6, 7, because we had year 7 was primary school in Perth at that time. And so, I had absolutely all of them. And I'm gutted because I gave them, I didn't give them away. That would have been even more gutting probably, or I don't know. We went on a trip in year 7, a school trip to Sydney and Canberra. So I'm from Perth and we went on the bus right across Australia. Now they fly, but we had the bus with no screens and, 2.5 days of hell. Poor teachers. And we were all very excited about spending money on the Sydney-Canberra trip, And so I sold all of my Babysitters Club books to a secondhand bookshop. And I bought, which now I don't have because they just got tarnished and crap, I bought spoons, the tourist spoons at every single stop instead of the Babysitters Club books. And get this, I was already disappointed about this, right? But this morning, because I knew we might be chatting about the Babysitters Club a bit, I decided to, just have a quick, I've got a while ago I bought these before I knew we were chatting. That's the first 3 because I thought I really wanted to reread and see what they, and so I started rereading the first. So that's interesting. But anyway, this morning I went online just to see, and if you go on Amazon and you look up, so I don't remember reading the Babysitters Club mysteries, but apparently that was a thing. I don't know, do you remember
Sounds
that?
familiar, but I don't think I've read it.
It may have come after I kind of may have come after my era, but anyway, I was like, I want, because one of the reasons that I thought about thinking about the Babysitters Club recently was because I'm writing a series called The #1 Insta Detectives Agency with my friend, and we were saying it's kind of like, it almost felt like the Babysitters Club, they get this idea and they're going to, and so I thought, I want to read that, made me think I want to read the Babysitters Club. But then when I heard this mystery one, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get one of these mystery ones. Do you know how much some of the Babysitters Club books are going for now?
No.
One I found $682 or something.
Sure, sharp.
One of these.
A gold mine. She's got her old Babysitters Club books here.
You are sitting on a gold mine. I mean, but do you want to sell them? But literally,
no.
I mean, who's going to pay $600 for one though? I was like, I want to read it, but I don't want to read it that badly.
Not that much.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because I had, I don't know, I think maybe about 30 or so, and somewhere along the line, I thought when I moved out that my mum had thrown them out. She couldn't find them anywhere. Then literally it's 2 months ago, my brother walks in the house with this big tub of my old school books and stuff. In there was my Babysitters Club collection. And it's like, oh, my heart just melted, and it's like seeing them all again. And because one of the so I've got the the original ones, but one of my favorite, I loved the specials. So I've got special number here, New York. And Marianne loves Logan. Just seeing them all just
Oh,
brings
Logan. Everyone loved Logan, didn't they?
Yes.
I reckon we have to thank Anne and Martin for introducing us to green flag guy Logan Bruno.
Oh,
Logan Bruno.
yes. Yes, he was the original, good boyfriend.
Good guy.
Yes.
We probably need more good guys in
Yes.
fiction these
Well,
days.
that's the
in young
guy
adult
we need to
fiction.
aim for.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that our daughters should aim for. Bloody Logan Bruno.
Yeah, I'd forgotten his surname, Logan Bruno. Hey,
Bruno.
actually, that's just why I love the name Logan, and I didn't. You know when you don't realize that why? Maybe this is why because
I think so.
I had a character called Logan, and in one of my books, also a good guy because it was a romance novel, so he's a good guy.
Mhm.
And I've got 3 sons, and for a while, I thought, am I going to have a fourth? And if we had a fourth boy, I would have called him Logan, and maybe that's why.
There you
There
It's
you
like that
go.
subliminal.
Yes. But it's like when you're a teacher, because I know you
Yeah.
were once a teacher, and there are students
Yeah.
that you don't want to name your child after.
Yes.
But Logan's had the opposite effect.
Mm. Now, I think Fonz and I had a brief discussion about Babysitters Club a little while back where we said which was a character that we are most related to. I think we were both Marianne. How about yourself?
Look, I'm probably going to say Christy, even though I'm not sporty at all, but I was probably the bossy kind of.
The ideas lady.
The ideas lady, definitely ideas person, not necessarily a follow through person. But I'd say it was Christy. I'd forgotten actually, because I listened to your chat that we briefly talked about all those wonderful things, including the Babysitters Club, and I'd forgotten about Dawn.
I forgot about Dawn too.
How did she come on? Because I'm rereading the first one. And Dawn's not in here yet.
Yeah, I think
anyway.
that's right. She comes later.
Yeah, I read that she came last night. I read she came later. I'm like, what? I always thought Dawn was part of the gang.
You're right.
I just forgot about Dawn completely.
Yes. Stacey's from New York, isn't she?
The other blondie. So, yes, I think Dawn must come later on.
And she's Crunchy from California.
It's really funny because, just diving back into this book, Christy's great idea. Unfortunately, it's a shiny new one, not the $683 one. You've got the proper one. $600 so depressing. I'm so jealous. Anyway, I'm like, it's so basic.
Yes.
Right?
Because I was reading it last night too, just to get my... But I suppose it's aimed for,
Yeah. But it's great. I'm thinking, this Anne Martin, would she have imagined when she wrote Christy's great idea that it would have sparked, hundreds of books, offshoots, now graphic novels, film and TV, people like us talking about it.
Years down the track.
So many years after we read it and enjoyed the books. And I'm just thinking that's the kind of thing I think you just can't manufacture. It just either happens or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And, I'm thinking now, of course, as a writer, geez, this is quite a short book. It's not that hard to write. What's the next Babysitters? I've got it. The podcasters.
Yeah.
The podcasters.
The Podcasters Club. Say hello to your friends, Podcasters Club. I've got a question. I'm linking in now the Lucky Sisters with the Babysitters Club. If Stevie had to choose a member of the Babysitters Club to babysit Cherry, who would she choose?
Oh, I reckon Claudia. Because Claudia's wild and fun and crazy.
And fashionable.
Yes.
Yeah. And I reckon that she would that's what she cares about. She's not worried too much about what they're going to be fed or.
Yeah. That's good.
And she's Claudia's always eating
pizza?
lollies,
yes,
snacks, anything bad kind of thing. It's so funny. Spoiler territory here because I had forgotten a bit. You've got that overall how much you love the whole series and that it just and I remember my friends and I we all wondered our own Babysitters Club. Even though of course no one of my parents' friends were going to let 12-year-olds look after their 2-year-olds and stuff at all. It's just not happening. But we all wanted to do that. We all wanted our own phone in our bedroom because, Claudia had her own phone in her bedroom, which was like, wow. But I had forgotten, I was actually thinking, so there's a little bit of a hint that something's going on with Stacey in the first book, food-wise. and it looks like she's on a diet and that maybe she's got an eating disorder. And I was like, oh, but then when I then read forward a couple of, blurbs and stuff or whatever and thought, I remember she has diabetes.
Diabetes.
And
Yes.
this was a series that is at the forefront of real diversity in some ways. Like, I mean, we do have Claudia, and now she probably would have been like the token character that they've got to put in. But I'm sure that wasn't why, I just love that Anne Martin had this whole like group of people that came from different backgrounds. Some the parents were divorced, some were widowed, and they had to deal with diabetes. Later, they apparently dealt with autism, and in a real simple way that's not banging kids over the head. Whereas I feel like, okay, a lot of books these days, they choose an issue and it's like the issue becomes the main part of the plot, or the person that has, ADHD or autism or something like that, that's their whole identity. Whereas this, it was just part of the world and,
And as a reader, you just read on and accepted it.
Yeah, those
and just kept reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like good as young children. Like, we're like, oh, yeah, she has diabetes or whatever. Like, well, if a friend has diabetes, we're not going to, it's not crazy. It's just a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, because I was reading about it quickly last night and about the diabetes, that it wasn't for a lot of people, actually, they recognize the symptoms in themselves from reading the book.
Yeah, wow.
And then they're like, and they got diagnosed with diabetes.
I've got a story.
Man,
I've got a story from year 7. The doctor thought I had symptoms for diabetes, and I told a girl
because you'd read the Babysitter's Club book?
I was a bit of a hypochondriac, maybe. But anyway, I told a girl at school, and she gave me the Babysitter's Club book about, was it Stacey having diabetes, and said for me to read that. So I already read it, like in grade 5, but it was that offer of help with the Babysitter's Club.
That's so lovely.
Yeah. I was just really thirsty. I don't think I was drinking enough water. I think that's what happened.
I don't think any of us were drinking enough water, probably, because now we've constantly, both of us have been drinking, right? But we weren't allowed to drink water at school unless you're outside at lunchtime or whatever.
And the taps, they had the bark stuck in them. The bark,
no one drank enough water. But no, the other thing I think about the Babysitter's Club is that it's really female empowering. Like, these girls are businesswomen, and they're, there are love things, obviously there's romance and stuff in elements, and they because their age, they, obviously are into relationships and experimenting and all that sort of stuff. But that's not the be all and end all. It's more their friendship and their entrepreneurial skills, which I think is so great.
Oh my goodness, the entrepreneurial side. Just again, reading the first thing, like they had 3 diaries, like one scheduling, one, to keep track of the money. Like they were onto it.
They were.
Huh?
They were. Yeah. I know. I mean, I wish they were real, because it's a bit disappointing that they're not, and that we, they're just such a big part of so many people's lives. And I think as an author, like, as I said, I fell away from reading in high school, but I've got to say that this series was probably very pivotal if I go deep and think, this is the first books that I really remember, apart from when I was younger and Mum was reading me things like Folk of the Faraway Tree and stuff like that. To me, this is the first series that I was waiting for the next book, that I would be prepared to spend my money on to buy, and that I was, felt like these characters were real people and stuff. So yeah, I feel like the Babysitter's Club, now looking back, was really a pivotal part of my writing career, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And I think by having these discussions, we've realised what a soft spot so many of us women have with this growing up, and apart from nostalgia and what have you, like, 'cause it was a thing that they were our friends. They were aspirational, but they were sort of our friends. And just the super special that I held up, I actually remember this specifically. My grandma just had her cataracts out, so I was at her house in bed with her. So she had the patch on her eye, and I was in bed reading this super special with her. And it's like, almost 40 years later, I had this memory.
Remember that exactly. Well, that was the New York one, hey, and we all then wanted to go to New York. And I remember like summer camp ones as well. And it was like, I think maybe it's interesting. I would love to know, because obviously I'm Australian, and I think you grew up in Australia as well. As I was born in England, but grew up in Australia. And I would love to know are the people in America as obsessed with the Babysitters Club? I mean, maybe they are, and they were, but was it like these American friends seemed so much sophisticated. They had a phone, they could go to New York. Like, is it something that other parts of the world were more obsessed with than people in America? I would just love to,
That's a great question. If anyone knows, just send us a DM, any of us. And I would love to know that. But I do know in America they are developing the Babysitters Club musical, the theatre show.
Wow, I know. I did see. So it must have been pretty big there.
It must have.
I would honestly fly there just to see the musical of the Babysitters Club. That just sounds amazing.
Maybe this is the future for us.
Yeah. Let's do it. Thank you so much. It was so fun to chat to you guys. I don't want to go and now write my book. I just want to chat to you all day.
I know. I hope there's some more opportunities for us to be in touch because I'd love, like I said, it's like you're one of us.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, you just meet some people and you immediately go, yep, I like them. They click with them. Yeah, and I felt that with you and then now with you as well. So
fantastic. Maybe you could have a podcasters club. Say hello.
Yes. I think we're onto something.
So the Lucky Sisters, so you're finishing your book tour. It's all done?
Yeah, it's pretty much done now. I've got one more event in Perth this weekend and then I'm going back into the writing cave to try and write the next couple of books that need to be done.
Good luck with it, and good luck with this. I really did. I said I inhaled it. I think I read it in like 4 or 5 days, and I loved it, and I cried, and I laughed.
Yeah,
and it was all great things. And it's apart from being a great book, it's so lovely to meet you, a great person, and thank you for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you. I can't wait to listen to more of your podcasts, and slide into my DMs whenever you want.
We will.
Thanks, Rachel.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.